Have you ever just stopped and wondered, really wondered what you're made of? Down at the very, very bottom of it all. Well, today, that's exactly where we're going. We're going to break down the tiny molecular building blocks that piece by piece build the incredible complex machine that is you. So let's just ask it straight up. What are you made of? Seriously, if you could zoom in, way past your skin, past your cells, what would you even find down there? Turns out the answer is both amazingly simple and just mind-blowingly complex.
You see, it all comes down to one simple, beautiful rule. All of life, and I mean all of it, is built using a system that works exactly like Legos. You start with just a few different kinds of simple individual bricks, and just by clicking them together in new ways, you can build, well, anything.
Now, in biology, we call these little individual bricks monomers. And when you link a bunch of them together into a long chain or some kind of cool, complex shape, you get a polymer. So how does life connect them? Well, to stick two bricks together, a cell just plucks out a tiny water molecule and, click, they're locked in. And to take them apart, you guessed it, it just puts the water back in. It's this beautiful, efficient system for building and unbuilding basically everything. Okay, so let's meet our first set of Legos, carbohydrates. I want you to think of these as the energy bricks. They're the fuel, the power source that keeps your entire system up and running. And the most important energy brick of them all is this little guy right here, glucose. It's a simple ring of sugar, but it is the universal fuel that powers pretty much every cell on this planet. It's the basic building block for all the bigger carbohydrates we're about to see. And this is where things get absolutely wild. Look at these two versions of glucose. You've got alpha glucose on the left and beta glucose on the right. Can you spot the difference? It's tiny. The only difference is that one little OH group is pointing down on one and up on the other. But that one tiny flip completely changes everything. One builds molecules for easy access energy, and the other builds one of the toughest structural materials in nature. So what does that look like in the real world? Well, when you link up those alpha glucose bricks, the ones you see in the first two columns, you get energy storage. Plants make starch, we animals make glycogen, which is super branched, and those branches are the whole point. They give you tons of places to snap off a glucose brick for a quick burst of energy. But link up those beta glucose bricks from that third column, and you get cellulose, long, straight, tough fibers. That's what makes a tree a tree. All right, so we've got our fuel, but a city is more than just a power plant, right? You need fuel storage tanks, waterproof coatings, you need the actual walls for the buildings. And that brings us to our next set of bricks, the utility bricks, also known as lipids. We tend to just call them fats, but oh, they do so much more. And just look at their power. This chart says it all. Check out that bar for lipids on the left. Gram for gram, they pack in more than double the energy of carbs or proteins. It's not even close. This is why they are the absolute best for long-term energy storage. But here's where lipids get really, really cool. Meet the phospholipid. It's a special utility brick that's got a split personality. It has a head that loves water and two tails that absolutely hate it. So what do you think happens when you drop a bunch of these into water? They automatically build a wall. They form this perfect barrier, a bilayer, with all their tails hiding on the inside, away from the water. This right here is the structure of every single cell membrane in your body. Okay, it's time for the action bricks, proteins. If your body is a giant, bustling city, proteins are the workers. They're the ones doing everything. They're the construction crews, the delivery drivers, the communication network. They do pretty much all the work. So the monomers for proteins are called amino acids. And here's the secret sauce. There are 20 different kinds of them. Each one has this unique little bit called an R group, and that R group gives it a special property. Some are tiny, some are bulky, some have a positive charge, some hate water. And that variety is what lets proteins do so many different jobs. But a protein isn't much use as just a long string of beads. Its real power comes from how it folds. So first, you have the primary structure. That's just the order of the amino acids. Then it starts to coil and fold into some simple secondary shapes. But the real magic happens in the tertiary structure. That's when the whole thing collapses into a very specific, unique 3D shape, all guided by how those different R groups attract and repel each other. Some even go a step further, to the quaternary level, where multiple folded chains team up. That final 3D shape, that is everything. Because that shape defines the job. It's that simple. If it folds up into a compact little ball that dissolves in water,
you get a globular protein, like an enzyme that zips around doing chemical reactions. But if it arranges itself into long, tough, insoluble ropes, you get a fibrous protein, like the collagen that gives your skin its strength. The shape is the function.
So we have energy bricks, utility bricks, and action bricks. But what's telling the city how to put it all together? What tells a cell which proteins to build and when to build them? You need a master plan. You need a blueprint. And that brings us to our last set of bricks, the nucleic acids. And here it is, the master plan itself, DNA. I mean, it's just an icon. And its double helix structure is an absolute masterpiece of engineering. You got this tough backbone on the outside for protection. Then on the inside, you have the bases, A, T, C, and G. And they have these strict pairing rules that protect the information they carry. And that specific sequence of bases, well, that's it. That's the genetic code, the instructions for building every single protein your body will ever make. Now, we can't leave this section without talking about a very special molecule called ATP. It's technically a nucleic acid building block, a nucleotide, but its job isn't storing information. Its job is storing energy. You can think of it as the rechargeable battery pack that the protein workers use to do their jobs. It's the instant, usable energy that drives pretty much everything a cell does. Okay, let's zoom back out and just look at the amazing city we've built. We've seen how just 4 basic types of molecular Legos can be used to construct the entire, dynamic, incredible system that we call life. From the pure energy of carbohydrates to the versatile utility of lipids, the non-stop action of proteins, and the master blueprint of nucleic acids, life builds, well, everything. And if there's one lesson to take away from all this, it's this: structure is function. The shape of the molecule determines its job. A tiny tweak to the shape creates a massive change in what it can do. And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. We see this principle, that form perfectly dictates function, playing out at the tiniest, most fundamental scale inside our own bodies. So if that's true for the molecules that make us, what does that imply about the design of all the bigger systems we see around us, in the natural world, and even in the societies we build ourselves?